Today, we are faced with a range of global challenges. What are some of the most urgent issues that need to be addressed today?
Rising cases of socioeconomic inequalities,
enormous inequalities, economic and political,
gender inequality,
global security,
issues of war and peace,
climate change threat,
climate crisis,
hate speech, xenophobia,
From worsening social inequalities, to various forms of violence, to climate change, the issues that we face today are complex and interconnected. In 2015, the global community came together and proposed the Sustainable Development Goals. Education, notably global citizenship education, known as GCED, was singled out as both a goal and a means to effectively address these challenges. Given the complexity and multidimensionality of these issues, GCED needs to be unpacked and translated into practical activities and pedagogical tools, empowering educators and learners. We welcome you to the 8th International Conference on GCED, on the theme of Unpacking GCED, Transformative Learning for Critical Empowerment.
Welcome to the 8th International Conference on Global Citizenship Education, held on site as well as being live streamed from Seoul, the Republic of Korea. I'm Jung-min from the Asia Pacific Center of Education for International Understanding under the auspices of UNESCO. Very long name, so also known as APCEIU or APCEIU. Before proceeding with the conference, we, the organizers, would like to extend our heartfelt prayers and solidarity to all those around the world whose lives and livelihoods are threatened by war and various forms of violence. Education alone cannot bring about deep-set changes we seek, but education can and should make contribution to the building of a culture of peace. I hope this conference offers you a space of dialogue and network for our renewed commitment and actions. Now, let us begin the 8th International Conference on Global Citizenship Education, co-organized by APCEIU, the Ministry of Education and Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Korea, in partnership with UNESCO. Since its launch in 2016, this annual conference has been known to be a platform for interested educators, policymakers, and experts to share, discuss, and learn to improve their understanding and practice of global citizenship education. The theme of this year's conference is Unpacking Global Citizenship Education, Transformative Learning for Critical Empowerment. Today, we are faced with a range of interconnected challenges, as you saw in the film, the video, from growing social inequalities to the normalization of violence and the impact of climate change, to name a few. Such issues have multidimensional aspects in their causes and solutions, while they are also interconnected with one another. Dealing with such complex issues, global citizenship education in itself is also a multifaceted effort. This conference suggests the participants explore and share ways to unpack global citizenship education and translate it into practice and pedagogy to promote transformative learning and to empower educators and learners. Now, let us begin the opening ceremony. First, I would like to invite the Honorable Mr. Jang Sang-yun, the Vice Minister of Education, Republic of Korea, to pronounce his opening remarks. Unfortunately, due to his duty, Mr. Jang could not be present in person today, but he sent us a video of his warm welcome. So let's meet Mr. Jang on screen.
안녕하십니까. 대한민국 교육부 차관 장상윤입니다. 제8회 세계시민교육 국제회의 개최를 진심으로 축하합니다. 오늘 이 자리를 빛내주신 Put 시말라봉 라오스 교육체육부 장관님과 홍석인 외교부 공공외교대사님, 크리스토퍼 캐슬 유네스코 평화 지속가능발전 국장님, 그리고 참석해 주신 모든 분께 감사와 환영의 인사를 드립니다. 또한 이번 행사의 준비를 위해 애써주신 유네스코 아태교육원 임현묵 원장님과 직원 여러분께도 특별히 감사의 말씀을 전합니다. 대한민국은 2015년 인천 세계교육포럼을 계기로 평화와 자유, 연대 등 보편적 가치를 이해하고 공감하며 실천하는 시민을 양성하는 세계 시민 교육의 확산을 위해 노력해 왔으며 이러한 노력을 국제사회와 공유하기 위해 2016년부터 매년 세계 시민교육 국제회의를 개최해 오고 있습니다. 이번 8차 회의에서는 다시 풀어보는 세계 시민교육 대전환을 위한 실천을 주제로 여러 가지 변혁적 이니셔티브를 통해 세계 시민교육을 다시금 바라보고 포괄적인 접근 방식을 논의할 예정입니다. 최근 기후위기로 인해 세계 여러 나라가 유례없는 자연재난을 겪고 있고 팬데믹 이후 더욱 심화된 디지털 격차는 새로운 종류의 차별을 만들어내고 있습니다. 이러한 문제들을 해결하기 위해 지속가능 발전, 디지털 리터러시 등 핵심적 가치를 중시하면서 비판적인 시각으로 사회 참여를 할 수 있는 변혁적 역량을 지원하는 세계 시민 교육의 확산이 무엇보다도 중요하다고 생각합니다. 대한민국 정부 역시 이러한 인식 아래 유네스코 아태교육원과 협력하여 지속가능 발전, 디지털 리터러시 등을 주제로 교육 자료를 개발하고 청년들과 대화의 장을 마련하는 등 대전환 시대의 세계 시민 교육이 그 역할을 다하도록 노력해 왔습니다. 이 자리에 참석해 주신 여러분 역시 세계 시민 교육의 변혁적 역할과 실행 방안에 대해 많은 관심을 가지고 계신 것으로 알고 있습니다. 이번 행사가 서로의 고민을 나누고 지혜와 경험을 공유하는 소중한 기회가 되기를 희망합니다. 감사합니다.
We thank the Honorable Mr. Zhang for his warm remarks. Now, I would like to invite His Excellency Mr. Hong Seok-in, the Ambassador and Deputy Minister for Public Diplomacy, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Korea. Please welcome him with a round of applause.
Dr. Prutsimalabong, Minister of Education and Sports of Laos, Mr. Chris Castle, Director of UNESCO, Mr. Im Hyun-muk, Director of the APSEU, distinguished guests and colleagues. Good afternoon. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you at the 8th International Conference on Global Citizenship Education, a collaborative effort by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Ministry of Education in partnership with UNESCO. My heartfelt thanks go to APSEU for orchestrating this remarkable event. It is both an honor and pleasure to convene the 8th International Conference, an annual event since 2016, and witness its evolution into a significant international forum. This year's theme, Unpacking GCED, Transformative Learning for Critical Empowerment, demands our attention. It is indeed time to reflect, open, and reassemble its components in the face of multiple challenges we confront today. 11 years have already passed since the former UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon first introduced the concept of global citizenship. Nevertheless, we continue to see its effectiveness as it has grown into a dynamic concept that adapts to the evolving needs of our global community. Furthermore, The recent revision of the 1974 recommendation concerning education features the term global citizenship in its new title. We now live in a world beset by the interconnected challenges that demand our collective action. These challenges span from social and economic disparities to the normalization of violence and the looming climate change. We stand at a crossroads, facing an existential choice between continuing on an unsustainable path or the radically changing course. I firmly believe that GCED will play a fundamental and pivotal role in these turbulent times. It will empower individuals and communities to navigate the complexities of our interconnected world with a heightened sense of responsibility and critical engagement. Today's conference marks the beginning of another collective journey, an exploration of how GCED can magnify its impact. As a host country strongly committed to the advancement of GCED and whose rapid development was driven by inclusive education, the Republic of Korea is honored to lead this journey. We will delve into these multidimensional issues with particular emphasis on addressing violence and the climate crisis. We will explore how GCED can foster transformative learning and critical empowerment as responses to these pressing global concerns. Today, we will chart a course toward a brighter and more sustainable future for all. Let us embark on this journey together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your inspiring remarks. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Christopher Castle, Director of the Division for Peace and Sustainable Development, UNESCO. He will give his congratulatory remarks on behalf of UNESCO. Please welcome Mr. Christopher Castle.
Thank you very much. Ministers, Excellencies, on behalf of UNESCO's Assistant Director General for Education, Stefania Giannini, it's my great pleasure to be here to represent her and to congratulate first and thank the Asia Pacific Center of Education for International Understanding, or APSEU as we call it, and the government of the Republic of Korea for their unwavering support to global citizenship education. As I think others have already pointed out, this conference comes at a critical moment for education. As the landmark report by UNESCO's International Commission on the Futures of Education points out, reforms and adjustments to our education system will not be enough to address the wide-ranging challenges of our time. Challenges like, as we just heard, climate change, violent and hateful ideologies and conflicts, all of which are global and interconnected. They are shared responsibilities, and addressing them requires collective action built on transversal competencies like creativity, critical thinking, and innovation. This is why, in September of last year, the United Nations Secretary General brought together more than 2,000 education stakeholders, including 64 heads of state and government, to boost the global movement to transform education. The Transforming Education Summit put global citizenship education at its core. It sent a clear message that learners need the knowledge, skills, and values to engage critically with the world, to take care of themselves and interact in positive ways with others, both in person, but also and increasingly in virtual spaces, and to bring about positive change in their communities and globally. So over the next couple of days, we'll have the opportunity to unpack what we mean by global citizenship education, and I think we have to keep unpacking that, isn't it? It's an evolving concept that we continue to learn and develop as we go. But since the term was coined, many countries have initiated policies and programs, and these can teach us much about the different approaches to GCED that can be found across the world. So we're looking forward to all of you sharing those experiences. And to guide policymakers and educators, UNESCO has developed sets of materials that can be adapted and contextualized to different settings on key issues such as hate speech, violent extremism, genocide, and recently, supporting reconciliation and healing after conflict. By the way, I noticed a lot of new resources available on the display table outside, so definitely take a moment to check those out. I'm quite excited myself to learn more about those. But we continue to face critical questions as we strive to make transformative learning a reality for all. And so, for example, what core competencies do learners need to think through complex systems, build social consciousness, and lead change and transformation? What are the most effective pedagogies and approaches to foster these competencies? What, in fact, does critical thinking mean in practice? And how can schools best support learners to translate their ideas into innovations? So I'm eager here to hear from all of you your ideas on these questions, because global citizenship education, like education in general, needs to be reinvigorated, to be transformed. Indeed, it was this aspiration that ignited the process to update UNESCO's 1974 recommendation. We just heard them, the colleague from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs referenced that. This recommendation concerning education for international understanding, cooperation, and peace, and education relating to human rights and fundamental freedoms. It's a long title, but it has a long title for a reason. There's lots of really important concepts that all relate to each other in that. And following extensive consultations, the revised recommendation is expected to be adopted by UNESCO's member states at our General Conference in November next month. We're confident that this will help renew the potential of global citizenship education, and thus of education, to build an international understanding and peace. So I wish us all a fruitful set of discussions over the coming days. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kessler, for your very insightful remarks. Last but not least, Mr. Im Hyun-mook, Director of ICU, will address his welcoming remarks. Please warmly welcome Mr. Lim.
안녕하세요.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining us for the 8th International Conference on Global Citizenship Education. On behalf of ICU, I would first like to thank our longtime partners for their continuing support for this conference. The Ministry of Education Korea, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Korea, and UNESCO headquarters in Paris. I thank Vice Minister of Education, Mr. Jang Sang-yoon, for his opening remarks, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Hong Seok-in, for your inspiring speech, and Director of the Division for Peace and Sustainable Development at UNESCO, Mr. Christopher Kessler, for your encouraging speech. Special thanks to Dr. Phut Simalabong, Minister of Education and Sport of the Lao People's Democratic Republic, for his presence and also keynote address for this conference. All the speakers, moderators, panelists, and the audience here in this room, and joining online, thank you for being with us today, and very warm welcome. Colleagues and friends, this annual GCED conference has been held for the last 8 years, thanks to the support and contribution of all the partners, participants, and the audiences. This conference has now established itself as an important international platform for sharing experiences and inspiring ideas and imagination. Let us congratulate ourselves on this achievement. However, the reality facing us today is remotely far from congratulatory. Then we may well ask ourselves, what is the meaning of all this effort for GCED, including this conference? Here, I come to recall the aspirations and expectations that dominated the moment when the international community adopted SDGs in 2015. Where are those aspirations and expectations now? It seems that they are gone by and large, if not altogether. What has happened since 2015? And what have we done since 2015? I cannot but raise these questions at the outset of this conference. And I'm raising these questions to remind ourselves of urgency that the reality of today is imposing on us. Yes, indeed, this year's conference cannot and must not be the same as the previous sessions, because the reality is different, because the crises and challenges are different. We need a more sharpened focus for GCED. We need something that unites us while respecting diverse understandings and practices of GCED. It is with this feeling of urgency and this call for our joint action that I'm opening this conference with you. I hope that in our discussions and exchanges today and tomorrow, we'll share this feeling of urgency and move forward one step further in our joint action for GCED. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lim, for your inspiring remarks and also for reminding us of challenges. Yes. This year's conference has a special guest. It is my great honor to introduce our keynote speaker, His Excellency Phut Simalavong, Minister of Education and Sports, Lao People's Democratic Republic. Holding a PhD in sociology, His Excellency Dr. Simalavong has worked in a number of positions in the area of education, such as the Dean of the Faculty and Vice President of Universities, while he has been working as high-level policymaker in education in Lao PDR since 2019. He has also published and co-edited a number of journal articles in the field of social science. His Excellency is also a great supporter of global citizenship education. Under his leadership, the Ministry of Education and Sports, Lao PDR, has eagerly and successfully been carrying out a range of education policies and programs for global citizenship education. Today, His Excellency will speak on Lao PDR's education development and global citizenship education. Please warmly welcome His Excellency Phut Simalavong with a warm round of applause.
His Excellency Mr. Hong Sok-in, Ambassador and Deputy Minister for Public Diplomacy, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Honorable Dr. Lim Hyun Muk, Director of Asia Pacific Center of Education for International Understanding. Honorable Mr. Christophe Cassel, Director of the Division for Peace and Sustainable Development at UNESCO. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Annyeonghaseyo. The Ministry of Education and Sports, Lao PDR, is recently on behalf of the Ministry of Education and Sports of Lao PDR, it is my great honor to attend and deliver my speech at the 8th International Conference on the GCED in Seoul, the beautiful capital of the Republic of Korea. On this meaningful occasion, I would like to extend my sincere congratulations to the government of the Republic of Korea, in particular, the Asia Pacific Center for Education for International understanding for convening this conference. The theme of this year, Unpacking GCED, Transformative Learning for Critical Empowerment, is highly relevant because we are restoring our education from COVID-19 pandemic. So our children can continue to learn with better quality. Importantly, our presence here today is reflection of our collective commitment to education and recognition of the urgency to prioritize recovery from pandemic and use this as an opportunity to transform education for a peace and sustainable future. Ladies and gentlemen, Ministry of Education and Sports Lapida is recently adopted the Education and Sports Sector Development 5-year plan from 2021 to 2025. This plan aims to create the opportunity for all children and young people to have equitable access to quality education and lifelong learning, enabling them to obtain knowledge, skill, and competencies to reach their full potential and contribute to and benefit from socioeconomic development and support the country to graduate from the least developed country status by 2025. National education reform since 2005 have continuously improved access to quality education. Significantly, achievements have been made, including the educational related target for the Human Access Index. Criteria for exit from least developed country status. But this parity remains a challenge for national development. The government therefore emphasizes reducing those gaps by giving priority to disadvantaged groups such as poor people, females, and any group living in rural and remote areas, while setting a policy for development. Over the past 3 years, the COVID-19 pandemic has brought significant disruption to students' learning around the world, including the Laopedia. After the long crisis, the pandemic has increased learning losses and inequality. As schools reopen, children, young people need comprehensive and tailored support to meet their learning quality, physical health, and psychological well-being. In this regard, the Laopedia, the most priority are, first, to ensure all children and young people are in school and learning center. Second, in order to address lost institutional time, we compress primary and secondary curricula, focusing on the basic study subjects and providing catch-up tutorial program to students who need it most. Third, we focus on improving equality in access to quality education, particularly for the children who do not have Lao as mother language, mother tongue. Fourth, recognizing the important role of the teacher, we will strengthen the capacity of teacher on digital pedagogy. We also aim to enhance the skills of the teacher in adapting and innovating under any challenging and unexpected circumstances, contributing to the resilience of the education sectors. Fifth, to keep school and learning centers safe and conducting for the learning, we will ensure school and learning center have hygienic products and following hygiene practice and are provided with adequate teaching and learning materials. And the last, we will prioritize strengthening the management capacity of the educational administrators at all levels of the system, starting from the school principal to district and provincial authorities. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lao Education Division vision is to develop holistic education system that is based on Lao culture and values, while also being responsive to the challenge and opportunity of the 21st century. The vision of education to 2030, 5-year plan of education and sports sector, and GCED are closely allied. It aims to develop individuals who are knowledgeable, skilled, and responsible citizens who can contribute to a more just, sustainable, and peaceful world. Because of this importance in the teaching and learning curriculum, the GCED framework was created in Lao context, which consists of the vision of the GCED of the Lao period, aims and clear objectives to be achieved. This framework also reflects the national, international characteristics. There is an instrument to measure and evaluate the achievement of GCED, and it is the most important instrument for planning and implementing GCED in the curriculum. Giving the specific example, civic education subject of the Lao Pida is one of the subjects that lies in the teaching learning curriculum from lower to higher secondary education, which integrated the GCED framework into the subject. The purpose of this course is to provide students with knowledge of the world structure, features, culture, customs, living together in the community, society, especially to contribute to protect and to develop the nation and the international community. With learning and the purpose of this subject is aligned with the GCEDs in terms of knowledge, emotional, social, and behavior, and using the transformative pedagogy. With the cooperation and technical support from the UNESCO multi-sectoral regional office in Bangkok, in the past had brought the GCED content to be disseminated in the field of education and sports, especially to be disseminated to the heads of the department in the ministry, curriculum developers, and provincial education offices. At the same time, GCED was also disseminated among the principal teachers in ASP.NET schools. Through this process, teachers and students can integrate GCED into teaching and organizing activity in the school, such as students participating in research, joy organizing activities during school extracurricular activities, exchanging culture of the local ethnic groups, and preserving environment. In addition, participating in the school activities, students and teachers also bring the knowledge they have acquired to lead families and community to initiate change little by little. Until now, the Ministry of Education and Sports has been operating with UpCU to bring the content GCED to integrate in the learning topics and objectives in Lao citizenship subject, which has been successfully implemented by the responsibility of the Institute of the Research and Education Science and the Lao National Commission for UNESCO. Since the very beginning, due to the technical and financial support from the UpCU, the Lao PDI has been able to implement GCED-related activities, and hopefully we will be able to continue integrated GCED in other subjects in both social and natural sciences. In addition, the Lao PDI is also collaborated with the UpCU for the Korea-Lao PDI Teacher Exchange for the Global Education in collaboration with the Lao National Commission and GCED Cooperation Center Cluster Project for the Teacher Education Institution, as shown in the picture. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Ministry of Education and Sports and the Lao National Commission for UNESCO, I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks to the government of the Republic of Korea, the UpCU, and all partners for your kind cooperation and support for the human resource development in Lao PDR. I strongly believe that this project and the program has been making meaningful milestone in our cooperative relationship, particularly regarding to the promotion of the GCED, thereby contributing to the achievement of the SDG 4.7 for a peaceful and sustainable future in our planet. To conclude, I wish the 8th International Conference on GCED a great success, and thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, His Excellency, Mr. Simalabong, for sharing the inspirational case of Lao PDR to promote the global citizenship education, thereby enhancing the quality of education and learning. Now we will proceed with the photo taking, and it is almost impossible for us to take the photo of all the participants on the podium. So let us just first begin with 4 speakers of the opening ceremony. Could you please come up to the podium first? His Excellency Dr. Simalabong, and His Excellency Mr. Hong, Mr. Lim, and Mr. Kessler. Next year, we will make sure we have a more gender-balanced keynote speakers for opening. Oh yeah, no, I will give you the instructions. Or okay. Second, please, sorry, you have to remain. Sorry, I lost. Yeah, you have to. 원장님, 저희 네 분 모두 여기 계셔야 되는데요. Please stay on the podium so that other plenary speakers can join you. So could you please stay there? And speakers and moderators of plenary 1, plenary 2, plenary 3, I think they are sitting up here. Could you please come up to the podium and join the speakers of opening ceremony? 여기 부탄 옷 입으신 분 앞에 오시네요. Be careful. 괜찮으시겠어요? 밑으로 내려가셔도 될 것 같은데요. Yes. Now, please turn around so that we can include all the participants in the picture because the camera will go up. So turn around, and this time probably, some of you, I think you might want to come up because be careful. I think you may want to come up. 그렇게 안 나올 것 같아요? 안 나올 것 같아요? 어떻게 할 거예요? 사다리 원래 해서 하도록 돼 있어요, 원장님. 예, 원래 이렇게 찍는데요. 예, 그렇게 다 보시죠. Could you stand close to one another so that we can, yeah. And all of you, when they count the number, you might probably, yes, there or this or waving hands or a small heart, whichever. Yeah, waving hands. I'll be sitting here too. Okay, wave your hand. 1, 2, 3. And then claps. All right. Thank you for your cooperation.